Have you ever wondered why so few people live in northern Maine, despite its breathtaking beauty? With its rugged coastline and towering mountains, Maine seems like the perfect place to settle down. So, what's keeping people away from this hidden gem? Sure, Maine is famous for lobsters and Stephen King's spooky tales, but did you know there's a massive part of the state that hardly anyone lives in? It's almost like a secret part of Maine that few ever get to see. As you can see on this map, northern Maine is truly vast. Look how much larger it is compared to southern Maine, yet the population density is so low. Let's explore why. If you've ever been to southern Maine, you've probably visited the vibrant city of Portland with its bustling harbor, charming cobblestone streets, and iconic lighthouses. But travel further north, and it's a different world entirely. The northern region, dominated by Aroostook County, covers over 6,600 square miles, larger than Connecticut, and yet fewer than 70,000 people live there. That's only about 10 people per square mile. So, why is this part of the state so empty? Let's dive into the history, geography, and challenges that have kept northern Maine so sparsely populated. Imagine traveling through Aroostook County, a land of endless forests, rolling hills, and fertile valleys. It's peaceful, almost too peaceful. In fact, it feels like you've stepped back in time. There are no cities, no crowds, just small, tight-knit farming communities scattered across vast stretches of wilderness. If you didn't know better, you might think you were in Canada, with the county sitting snug against the border of Quebec and New Brunswick. Long before European settlers arrived, the indigenous Wabanaki people called Maine home. For over 12,000 years, they lived in harmony with the land, hunting, fishing, and farming in what is now northern Maine. But like much of North America, the arrival of European explorers in the 1600s forever changed this region. The first Europeans to settle here were the French Acadians, who built homes along Maine's northern fringe, hoping to carve out a life in this wild frontier. But it wasn't long before the English arrived, and the two powers clashed over control of the territory. In 1763, the Treaty of Paris ended the French claims to the region, handing control to the English. Even though the English technically won the territory, settlement in the north remained sparse. Much of Maine, including the northern regions, was part of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And it wasn't until 1820, under the Missouri Compromise, that Maine officially became its own state. When Maine joined the Union, its population was concentrated in the south, where the land was more accessible and the climate was far more forgiving. Augusta became the state capital, but the real growth happened along the coast, particularly in Portland, which developed into a bustling port city. But northern Maine, it remained mostly wild, untamed, and isolated. To understand why northern Maine stayed so underdeveloped, we need to take a closer look at the geography of the state. Maine is huge, almost 36,000 square miles, making it the largest of the New England states. Its coastline is jagged and rocky, filled with narrow peninsulas, fjords, and bays. Southern Maine is blessed with sandy beaches and calm waters, attracting tourists and settlers alike. But as you move north, the landscape changes dramatically. Picture this: endless forests, rolling hills, and a remote landscape where it feels like time has stood still. Aroostook County is a wilderness wonderland, part of the Appalachian Mountains, yet few people ever settle here. The terrain is tough, but it also offers rich soil, perfect for agriculture. In fact, Aroostook County is famous for its potatoes, a crop that has sustained the region's farming communities for generations. But agriculture alone has not been enough to make northern Maine a populous area. The winters are brutal, with snow piling up to 200 inches in some parts of the county. Temperatures can drop to extreme lows, with many areas experiencing long stretches of below-freezing conditions. For the people who live here, the winters are a defining part of life. It's not uncommon to hear stories of communities cut off by snowstorms or families relying on wood stoves to get through the long, dark months. Another reason for the sparse population in northern Maine is its lack of infrastructure. While cities like Portland and Augusta in the south have modern amenities and easy access to major highways, northern Maine is far more isolated. There are few paved roads and many areas are only accessible by logging trails or gravel paths. The North Maine Woods, a vast area of forested land, is managed by private landowners and is divided into 155 unincorporated townships. That's right, there are no towns, no permanent residents, just wilderness. For decades, the economy of northern Maine has been driven by industries like timber, potato farming, and outdoor recreation. But these industries have faced challenges in recent years. Timber, once a booming business, has been hit hard by competition from international markets. And while farming still provides a livelihood for many in the region, it's not enough to attract new residents. As a result, many young people leave Northern Maine in search of better opportunities in the South or out of state. Even Aroostook County's main city, Presque Isle, which once flourished during the heyday of potato farming, has seen its population decline. Today, it's a quiet town, known more for its proximity to the Canadian border than for any major economic activity. Of course, the climate plays a significant role in why so few people live here. Maine's winters are harsh everywhere, but Northern Maine takes it to another level. In Aroostook County, the average winter temperature is a bone-chilling 16 degrees Fahrenheit, with some nights dropping well below zero. Snowstorms are frequent, and heavy snowfall can last well into the spring. Even summers, while mild, are short, giving farmers a narrow window to grow and harvest their crops. Compare this to southern Maine, where the Atlantic Ocean moderates the climate, making winters milder and summers cooler. It's no wonder that most of Maine's population is concentrated in the south, where cities like Portland, Augusta, and Bangor thrive with better infrastructure, a more temperate climate, and access to the coast. But it's not just the climate that's challenging in northern Maine. The geography itself creates natural barriers to development. The rugged terrain, combined with dense forests, makes it difficult to build large cities or develop transportation networks. While the land is rich in natural resources, it's not the kind of place that's easy to settle in or industrialize on a large scale. So, what does the future hold for northern Maine? Over the years, the population has remained stable, but there's been little growth. Many younger residents move away after finishing school, seeking jobs and opportunities in more urban areas. The aging population, combined with economic challenges, means that the area's future remains uncertain. But northern Maine is not without its strengths. Its natural beauty, abundant wildlife, and outdoor recreational opportunities make it a destination for those who value a quieter, simpler life. Hunting, fishing, and camping are popular pastimes, and the region's vast forests are a draw for adventurers looking to escape the hustle and bustle of modern life. So, the next time you find yourself in southern Maine, soaking in the views of the Atlantic Ocean, consider taking a trip north. You might not find cities or crowds, but you'll discover a part of Maine that few people truly know. A place where the wilderness still rules and life moves at a different pace.